Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, everybody. I am your host, Joey Petersen. We're talking free agency on today's show, and I got one target that might just be the perfect fit. He might be a guy that could work seamlessly right into this Baltimore Ravens defense and be a massive addition in the 2025 season. Stick around. I'll reveal who that is and break down his strengths. But before that, make sure you guys are liking today's video because the Steelers put out a video. They got 415 likes on it. I always want to be better than the Steelers. Every single day I wake up and that's the first thing in my mind. Let me brush my teeth better than Mike Tomlin did this morning. Hope you guys feel the same way. And if you do me one big favor and like today's video. So we got to start by just being honest. Okay, we got to look at the man in the mirror, be truthful with ourselves, and realize that help at safety would be absolutely massive. And this isn't anything that we were saying 3 weeks ago, right? I think we all were really excited about this, where this team was after the draft, after adding in Malachi Starks. But Ardarius Washington tore his Achilles 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, today exactly. And it's kind of thrown a massive wrench into everything. And I'm not saying that like, why do you have to go do that? Obviously, I feel for him. My heart goes out to him. It's so tough what happened to Ardarius. But you also got to realize that before his injury, this is kind of how the defensive backroom was shaping up. In the free safety spot, you had Malachi Starks. Strong safety, you had Ardarius. In that nickel back flex role, you had Kyle Hamilton. And then Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins kind of rounded out the two outside corner spots. But now after the Ardarius Washington injury, there's some shifting that goes around, that went around in that defensive back room. Kyle Hamilton now is playing that free safety spot just like he did last year. That strong safety spot that Ardarius had last year now goes to Malachi Starks. Marlon Humphrey goes back in the slot. Nate Wiggins becomes your cornerback one. And Chidobe Awuzie is one of your starting corners as well. So my take for this whole thing is Baltimore's defense can operate like that, right? They could operate with Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Marlon Humphrey, Chidobe Awuzie, and Nate Wiggins. But that should not be the standard of this franchise. That should not be the standard of a team that's competing for Super Bowls. It shouldn't just be, could we operate like this? It should be what gets us to the point where we feel confident in competing and hoisting a Lombardi trophy. Especially with the state of this offense, with how many weapons they have. With, knowing that you can rely on them night in and night out to put 30 on the board. The defense's goal shouldn't just be, okay, let's operate like this. This should be good. The goal should be, let's get as many good players as we can in here because this is our window now. Speaking of now, I need you guys to do something for me right now. Get down to the comments section and name a safety the Ravens should sign in free agency. There's still a lot of really good options left. I'm curious to see who you got. So coming up, I'm going to reveal that perfect free agent that we talked about right off the top. So make sure you guys don't go anywhere. And if you do go anywhere, make sure it's to chatsports.com/white polo, where you can get this Ravens white polo, the old school logo, super cool. It was $50. Now it is $34. 32% off, right? I know Father's Day is just around the corner. I know we got a lot of birthdays coming up. And that's what's great about these shirts, right? You can wear them on the golf course, in the bay. You can wear them to the office. You can wear them, you can do anything with this. And it looks awesome. So support the best, feel the best. Support us right here on the show. Support our friends at Fanatics. Support the Baltimore Ravens. Hit all three of your favorite things by grabbing this right now, chatsports.com/white polo. Again, just $34. Phenomenal deal. That link is going to be in the comments and description of today's video. So Justin Simmons is that free agent that we are talking about today because it seems that everything combined with the cost, the role, and the need, it might make him the perfect free agent option. And I'm not the only one who says that. Baltimore Ravens Sports Illustrated agrees. This is from Frank Platko. Simmons is the most prominent big-name safety still unsigned. The former All-Pro was released by the Atlanta Falcons after just one season with the team. He's going on 32 years old, and while his prime years may be in the rear view, he's still a starter level player with a well-rounded skill set. He'd be a seamless fit in Baltimore, but might have too high of a price tag for the Ravens to sign him. And that's kind of where I disagree with Frank. I feel like because at this point of the year, we're in, what is it, May? And I know he didn't sign until late last year, but he's 32. He didn't have a great season. I don't think the cost would be too much. And some of the pros for him, number one, straight up, is he's a true free safety. The two starting safeties you've got right now on your roster, in Malachi Starks and in Kyle Hamilton, they're both two-way safeties. They're both guys who can play free safety and strong safety. And that's a phenomenal problem to have, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about that. But if you bring in Justin Simmons, you've got a guy who's a no-doubter, no-brainer free safety because that's all he's really known in the National Football League. In his 9-year career, he's had over 4,500 snaps at the free safety position. And if you look back to just last year, 86% of his snaps were at free safety in 2024. All right, this is a guy who is true to that position. He knows it better than anybody else almost in football. And if you combine him in here and team him up in the defensive backfield with Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton and Nate Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey, that just sounds like it could be something very special. Let me know in the comment section down below, should the Ravens sign Justin Simmons? If you think they should, give me a yes. And if you say, I'm going to pass on it, go ahead and give me a no. Another thing I love about Justin Simmons is he is a freaking ball hawk, man. I mean, this dude can get the football. He has 32 career interceptions in his 9 seasons playing. That is a ton. And why that may have dropped off a little bit last year, I think a big part of that is because Atlanta's edge rushers and just their pass rushing attack in general was atrocious. Every quarterback that Atlanta played in 2024 had 175 minutes to throw every single football. Every single one. And then look at the 3 years prior. 14 picks in the 3 years combined, his last 3 seasons in Denver. And we all know how big of a deal this has been for Baltimore, especially in the postseason. It just seems that for whatever reason, when this team goes into the postseason, they forget everything about turning the football over. Because they had 3 turnovers in 2024, 3 turnovers in 2023. And guess how many times they turned the ball over? That's right, 0. 6-0 ratio in their last 2 playoff losses. Justin Simmons comes in here and he changes that, okay? I promise you. The last pro of Mr. Justin Simmons is back to the Kyle Hamilton aspect of this all, okay? I think that is the biggest pro of him, and adding him is it allows Hamilton to be versatile. And this is exactly when this defense is at its best. For a second-year defensive coordinator in Zach Orr, I think this is in his best interest as well to give one of your star players that kind of position of, you're going to be in the box sometime. You might be in the slot. You might be in the free safety. You might be in the strong safety. You might be on the outside corner. You might be up on the defensive line. Like, nobody knows where he will be. And with the Ardarius Washington injury, he's pretty much just slotted in that free safety spot as of right now. But you add Justin Simmons, Kyle Hamilton goes back to being that versatile Swiss Army knife. Kyle Hamilton goes back to being anywhere on the football field because he can. Because he's that good. You can put him absolutely anywhere. Okay, adding in Justin Simmons changes a lot about this team. It changes a lot about this roster, and it changes a lot about this team's ability to compete late in the postseason. Justin Simmons isn't a necessity. I'm not sitting here pounding the table, pleading to everybody saying if they don't get this done, this season's screwed in 2025. I'm not saying that. Don't hear that from me. But he'd be awfully nice to have, okay? He'd give Hamilton a little bit more versatility. He gives Zach Orr another weapon in the defensive backfield. He'd allow that cornerback room to kind of go back to Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins being on that outside instead of Chidobe Awuzie playing starter minutes, playing 700 snaps if he stays healthy. I don't think that's the best thing for this team. We're about to get on out of here, but make sure you guys follow me before we do. Those links are going to be in the comments and description of today's video. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Joey Petersen 8. We're going to have a lot of OTA content on there tomorrow, so make sure to lock us in while you can. And lock us in right here on the channel because, again, OTAs are starting up. We'll be recapping all of those news items for you guys as quickly as we get them. So never miss a moment. Make sure to join us today and subscribe.